This is KGW News at noon.
We start today's news with breaking news out of Florida, where a student was shot inside a high school today. Reports say the student went to the hospital, but he should be okay. This happened at Seminole High School. It's about a 30-minute drive outside of Orlando. Authorities have the suspect in custody, and they say that area is now safe. Also this afternoon, President Biden is scheduled to hold a press conference in about an hour from now to mark the end of his first year in office. The president's approval rating is down, so today's speech will aim to emphasize what his administration says are the positives during his first year on the job, including job growth and new policies that were created to help Americans.
And it was the direct result of actions taken by President Biden and Democrats in Congress, including the American Rescue Plan, the vaccination effort it helped fund, and now the bipartisan infrastructure law. Recognized as one of the nation's greatest.
The White House expects the president to face some tough questions this afternoon about key setbacks, including the likely defeat of a year-long Democratic push for federal voting rights legislation. The president is set to meet with reporters starting at 1 o'clock. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is also making 400 million N95 masks available to Americans. Health experts have said that N95s protect people against Omicron better than cloth masks. So the White House says these free masks will ship out this week, and they'll be available at pharmacies and community health centers starting late next week. All right, now we want to get to the recall election in Newberg that is still too close to call this afternoon. Results from early votes were posted late last night around 10 p.m. and those early votes showed about 52% of voters did not want to recall Newberg School Board Chair Dave Brown and Vice Chair Brian Shannon. That pair led the effort last year to ban all political symbols on school grounds in Newberg. At first, the ban only included Black Lives Matter and LGBTQ symbols, but the board later expanded it. Brown explained that decision to KGW just last week.
It just came out as simple as that, politics in the classroom. And they are political and they are adult driven, and our kids are being used in a situation that can't happen, not in public schools.
So it may actually take up to a week before all the votes are counted, and here's why. This is the first election under Oregon's new voting rules. So mail-in ballots that were postmarked by or on Election Day last night at 8 p.m. will count. It just, again, may take a while to get all those votes counted. We'll continue to update this story for you on our website, kgw.com. Greenway Elementary School in the Beaverton School District is the latest metro area school to go back to remote learning. Teachers will use today to make the transition, so no classes today. It's remote classes for the next 2 days, tomorrow and Friday. So this number we're showing you here on the screen, this will help you keep up to date on all the local school closures and other COVID-related schedule changes. If you just text the word school to 503-226-5088, we'll send you back a link to an article on our website that features all of those closures and all of those schedule changes. Well, we know Portland Public Schools have their hands full right now with COVID-related staffing shortages all across the district. In fact, this past week, there was a heated back and forth between the district and the teachers union about sick days. KGW's Christine Pitawanich reached out to both parties to get some answers.
If you missed it, the head of HR at Portland Public Schools wrote a letter to teachers last week. It said in part that some last-minute teacher absences were concerning, and they'd heard there were educators trying to get their colleagues to call in sick with the intention of causing the district to close schools. The Portland Association of Teachers fired back with its own letter. It said the correspondence from the district was off base, demoralizing, and an insult to their profession.
My name is Elizabeth Teal. I'm currently serving as the president of the Portland Association of Teachers. As soon as that letter went out, I started hearing from dozens, maybe hundreds of members who just couldn't believe that that was the note in their inbox.
Elizabeth Teal says educators have had a difficult 2 years, reinventing what they do, trying to prioritize the health and needs of students, their families, and themselves, and all year trying to cover for the shortage of staff.
So that email from PPS was incredibly demoralizing. Felt like a kick in the teeth.
She says it caused more teachers to consider leaving the profession.
I have personally heard from a handful of educators who have said it was their last straw.
No doubt negotiations between the district and union before winter break is also impacting the relationship. The focus was on giving teachers more time to address students' social emotional needs, as well as time for planning and prepping. Those negotiations fell through.
The last minutes of negotiation, they suggested things like taking away a planning day from educators in June. And I think, as we sit at the table having these conversations, we weren't there to make trade-offs. Educators were saying we're drowning and we need support.
We also asked a couple times to speak with someone from the district. We were sent this statement instead that said in part, our top priority at the moment is to work closely with our staff, partners, and labor partners to ensure our schools can remain open. Portland Public Schools is actively looking into the incidents referenced in the email to PAT educators and cannot share more detailed information at this time. Christine Pitawanich, KGW News.
In other COVID-related news, Oregon National Guard members have started their second hospital relief mission around the state. More than 1,200 Guard members will be placed at 40 hospitals around Oregon. They'll focus mostly on supporting non-clinical roles throughout the anticipated Omicron surge over the next few weeks. Meanwhile, restaurants are still in a major uphill battle as they try to stay open during the pandemic. We spoke with Nate Tilden. He's a Portland restaurateur and the owner of various spots around town, including Clyde Common. He remembers the good old days. Tilden says, though, it is time to close Clyde Common for good.
We were part of the movement that really put Portland on the map. What we did with Clyde Common, 2007, we created a hotel, bar, and restaurant that was independently owned. I was the owner with a couple partners, silent partners. We said, what if this was like the place to be? Both food, both cocktail, wine program, energy. I think we can do groundbreaking.
Tilden told us that Clyde Common hasn't been making food or drinks since last spring as he tried to figure out what to do to keep the restaurant going. After 14 years, he announced the permanent closure just over the weekend on social media. All right, this next story is about a group of volunteers that's been hard at work helping with cleanup efforts in Chehalis after flooding there last week. This group is called Team Rubicon, and it's made up of retired veterans and first responders who are dedicated to helping out when disaster hits. And they've already made a huge difference in Chehalis after that recent flooding. The water went over the flood wall there at the local Mission for the Homeless, and everything there from the floor to about 4 feet up had to be taken out and replaced. Team Rubicon made some major progress over the weekend with this work, basically getting that building ready for contractors to finish the job.
We're snapping a line on drywall at about 4 feet. The world's a real divisive place and there's a lot of pain and suffering. So we derive a lot of satisfaction, personal satisfaction, when we can help people.
We won't stop. We're here to love everybody. I'm really grateful, and I know that we're going to get through this.
This group of retired veterans will stay in the area until the end of the month with plans to start serving meals again later this week. Team Rubicon also plans to help in other places that were damaged by the flooding there in Lewis County. All right, Rod, let's talk about our forecast here locally. I know we have a stretch of dry days coming soon, but when exactly will that start?
That starts, I think, tomorrow overnight. You wake up Friday, some clouds, and then Friday afternoon, I think all of us clear out and get some sun and we'll be off and running. But it's only Wednesday, and we're looking at a lot of clouds spilling into the area. There have been some pockets of more of a moderate rain, but generally it's been mostly light stuff. And right now the radar shows there are some breaks back to our west, but I think a lot of areas, even if the radar is not going to pick it up, are probably still going to see misty conditions this afternoon. Look at the low visibility map, and often in the mornings, we talk about fog, and I think what we have going on today is just the cloud deck itself is so low, and there's some mist out there that it's producing low visibilities. Not too bad over Cannon Beach right now, 51 degrees, Haystack Rock. If you go down to Depot Bay, though, it's a whole different story. Look at that's kind of misty and foggy looking. That's the view from the channel 101, and very foggy looking in downtown Portland. Again, I don't think these conditions change much throughout your afternoon hours. Here's your day planner, 44 right now, 48 at 4 p.m. 7 day has all that dry weather Drew was talking about. That's coming up.